mean, it is incredibly tragic, and there's a lot of despair here from residents who've been pushed back by cordons but are looking on, and many of them have a look on their faces like, could our buildings be next? Now, this is an area that's been incredibly neglected, but if you just look at the building that caught on fire, it's actually a heritage building. You can see the blue plaque there, and this site was an informal settlement. The mayor confirmed to us today that it was an informal settlement, but he also had to admit that there has been an injustice here, that there has been neglect here, that this is a part of a city that is historic, that should be maintained, and he says that the city is willing. For once, he said that's what's new in recent years, that the city is willing, but I think it's too little too late. This is the third fire we've seen in the central business district in Johannesburg in the last few months. We also saw the gas explosion here last month, and yet these things keep happening again and again, despite complaints from residents saying that it's unsafe. The emergency spokesperson has said that in his time as an emergency serviceman, he hasn't seen a fire like this in 23 years. We spoke to a fireman who's been in the service for 45 years, who said that he hasn't seen this many bodies come out of a fire in South Africa, let alone in Johannesburg. So the question is, why does this keep happening? We spoke to a survivor, Doreen, who's 25, from Malawi, who's one of the many migrants who live in this area informally, who squat in these buildings, and she's in complete shock. She says she doesn't even know what's happened. She just woke up and was pulled out, and she's one of the lucky ones. And the bodies are just behind this fire truck, are piled up. They're not letting anyone get near them. We managed to get around and see a few people moving around the bodies who are dressed, who are dressed appropriately, but they're not letting anyone see a sight that I think will shock many. That number of bodies piled up from one incident on one evening here in Johannesburg.